Welcome back to my channel. This is where I share my life living in Switzerland with all of my internet people. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you at least had some lovely time off with friends and family. And it's New Year's Eve. This is very exciting. It's the end of a year, end of a decade. This is a big deal. So I just was thinking back, reflecting a bit on the last 10 years and thinking like, these are my good old days. Like the 2010s, a lot happened for me. This was a big decade for me. I thought that I would sit down and share my story and share some photos, both to chronicle it for myself and to kind of just reflect going into the new year, and also because I thought it'd be a great way for all of you to get to know me a little bit better. There's a lot of you on here that don't know me personally. Let's dive in. 2010, it was wild. It feels like a lifetime ago. I was 13 years old, so awkward, so weird. Finding my way, embracing my weirdness was something that came much later. So yeah, actually at the new year of 2010, so in 2009, in September, I actually switched schools because I was a victim of exclusion bullying at my old school, which is where you're basically just, you don't fit in anywhere and you're kind of shunned from every group. And it was really traumatic and really difficult. And I decided, with the help of my family and some mental health professionals, that the best route for me would be to try out a new environment. And while it didn't make all my problems magically disappear, it was a really great choice for me. Yeah, so 2010 was when I was really starting to come into my own a bit more. I was still the new girl, which was kind of weird. But yeah, it was a really great experience. And at that time, I was really involved with dance. I've been a dancer since I was, I think, 5 years old. I was taking those kiddie dance classes, and then I developed a real love for the sport and the grace of it. I have my notebook here. If you see me looking down, that's why I had to write it down, because I would not remember all this. But anyway, in 2011, I went into my freshman year of high school. So exciting, when you're going up to the big school. But actually my school was so small, so the middle school and high school were in the same building, and my graduating class was 57 people or something, so it was a very small school. It wasn't that big of a deal to move into the high school, but it was exciting. And actually, while I was looking back, I found these old pictures of my bedroom, which I just think are so funny, the colors. And I found that bedspread, it was fake silk, and it was at Walmart or something, and I loved it. I planned the whole room off of that. My grandfather did a mural on the pitched ceiling. I loved it. I loved everything about that room. But looking back, it was wow, my parents gave me a lot of creative freedom with that design. That was when I developed a love for field hockey. It was really a lot of fun for me. I liked the camaraderie. I liked the team aspect of it. I liked going and running and feeling that burn in your lungs after a good practice. I only scored one goal ever, and it was when I was it was triple overtime, 1v1 with the goalie. I scored the game-winning goal, and it was probably the highlight of my high school career because it was so exciting. I mean, if you're only gonna score one goal ever, that's the one to do it, right? In 2011 was actually also a really big year because that was when I was diagnosed with a disease called RND, which stands for reflex neurovascular dystrophy. And so that is when my nervous system is basically all messed up and sends pain signals to my brain, even though there is nothing causing said pain. So this is something that I still live with today. I was actually diagnosed in August of 2010, but the rehabilitation programs are so limited. The hospital where I went only had 4 beds at the time for this rehab program. So I was diagnosed in August, and it wasn't until February of 2011 when I actually was admitted into the hospital. I'm gonna make a whole video about RND, kind of explaining more what it is, my diagnosis journey, how I'm living with it now. But in this reflection, I wanted to include it because it was such a big deal. Going into 2012, that was a more, I guess, special year. That was when I went to 4-H Camp Shangatonk as a CIT1, and it was probably one of my favorite summers ever. I had so much fun. I grew up going to summer camp, but that was the summer that I really like. You literally go for 1 week as a camper and 1 week as like a counselor, and that was like a really like clear pivot for me in like my independence and my, you know, responsibility. I had a lot of fun. That was also the year that I turned 16, which is really fun. I had a big sweet 16 where I had an outdoor movie, there was an outfit change. Yeah, that was really special, and I had a lot of fun planning that, and it was just a great night. So 2013 was my junior year of high school, which was a big one. That was when I started like my rebellious age. I was definitely arguing with my mom like all the time. I was like, forget you parents, because I could drive at that point, and I think I could drive. Did I have a car yet? No, I think I got a car my senior year. I don't know, but anyway, sorry mom, sorry dad, I was kind of a handful. But it was also an exciting year because I was elected the student council president, which is usually a role for a senior. Kind of crazy that I got the job, to be honest, and I don't know if I was mature enough for the job at the time. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I was shoveling a lot onto my own plate. I didn't know very much about delegating. At my school, the student council organized the pep rallies, the dances, lots of fundraisers. We did all the concessions at the football and basketball games. Like, it was a big job, and I was so grateful that I had it. I learned a lot. But yeah, when that year was done, I did not go for re-election, and I was fine. At the end of that year, I was actually my first prom, and I was looking back at the photos, and oh my god, there is magenta, there is ombre, there is ruffles, there are big diamantes, like there's a lot happening. There's even a corset on the back, but honestly, like, no regrets. I felt so confident and so excited to wear that dress, and I had such a good time. And yeah, so, and I think I have a photo of me and my two best friends, Haley and Heather, and we just had like such a fun time. And at that point in our lives, we were really close, and we were spending like every Friday night together. And yeah, prom was just a really lovely night, except my boyfriend at the time broke up with me like 2 weeks before prom. So I went with like some sophomore, and like all the tuxes were rented like in the whole town, so he just like wore like a vest, and he got a fedora with like a ribbon to match my dress, which is like such a sweet gesture, but like it was a fedora. I was actually kind of glad when junior year was over and I could go into my senior year. But in high school, I loved the musicals. I was such a musical geek. And in our junior year, we actually did the show Little Women, which I played Amy, the youngest sister, and I wasn't very good. I wasn't blowing anybody out of the water with my performance or anything, but we did have, get out of here. Sorry, the cat. We did have such a good time making that show. I was in the musicals like literally since I was in 7th grade. I was like started as a little fork in the background of Beauty and the Beast, and I like worked my way up, and it was a really fun time. So 2014 was a huge year. This is what I consider to be my year. Like, I look back and I think, yes, that was it. That was such a great time. It was my senior year. I had a car. I was I was still dancing. Well, actually, in the meantime, I still love dancing, but I did have to step away for a little while I was really sick with my disease because it was just too much. And so my senior year, I went back to it, which was so great. Again, prom was like such a clear memory for me of senior year. I just had such a good time. But looking back, I don't know. Actually, I do know who said we had to stand in color order. And I so wish we like shuffled it up. Like, I look back at these photos, I'm like, why are we standing in a rainbow order? Like, so annoying. And then I like see the pictures of me and my two best friends, Haley and Heather, again, and we're in red, white, and blue order. And I'm just like, why? Why are we standing like that? Like, there are why? So I actually do not like these photos, but I had such a good time. I brought one of my very best friends. Like, we literally went to summer camp together all those years before, and then yeah, he's my date for my senior prom, Aaron Idelson. Yeah, it was just such a good time. We laughed and we danced, and he was just best date ever. I don't know if this is just like a thing in the States, but like, we had a photo shoot. There were outfit changes. There was my trunk of like childhood memories was dragged to a field. There was a whole series with my hockey jersey and stick. Like, we had a whole day of photos for one yearbook photo. It was like so much fun, but like, looking back, absolutely insane. Like, why was that a thing? I don't know. I had to make my plan for university and my Rotary Youth Exchange during my senior year, and it was a lot. And then you probably know, if you're here from watching my exchange student content, in 2014 I did go to Switzerland for a year, and it changed my life. It changed my whole outlook. I started dressing much more relaxed. I didn't put so much pressure on myself. It was a whole year where literally my only responsibility was to learn German, and anything else was just a great, fantastic opportunity for learning and growing and maturing. And I learned a lot. It was by far the greatest thing I ever did. I actually wasn't gonna do it, and then my mom convinced me, just write a letter, see if you get in. And thanks, Mom. And obviously it changed the whole trajectory of my life. That was when I met Hendrik, and we went through the whole 9 months of my exchange together. Well, my exchange was like a year, but I met him, well, it was 11 months, and I met him like 1 month in, and then I made him wait a month to date me because I had to make sure he was really interested, you know. And then 2015, my exchange came to an end in July, and Hendrik and I had to say goodbye. I actually tried to break up with him a couple times, and he was not having it. So we went for the long distance, and yeah, we did not know if it was gonna work. It was really, really scary, and it was also hard because I went straight from exchange into college. I went to Johnson & Wales in Providence, Rhode Island, and I first went for marketing, and then I was like, oh my gosh, no, this is not for me. Like, this is literally just trying to manipulate everybody all the time. Like, I just want to throw my phone in the ocean. This is crazy. I don't want any part of this. So that was when I switched to tourism. In order to meet some more people and make some friends, I did join the rowing team, which was great. I met my best friend Allie through the rowing team, and it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. Again, I learned a lot about leadership and teamwork. 2015, 16 and 17 were all kind of a blur, really. Like, my family moved out of my childhood home to Brooklyn, which was like a really big deal, but I do think it kind of brought us all closer together in a way. We did realize, like, home is where your family is. And I got my first apartment. Hendrik and I continued with our long distance. My mental health was at a really low point at that time because I was really lonely. I didn't like university life. I don't enjoy being in a classroom. I like to learn by doing. So yeah, I didn't love university. Those were not the best years of my life, like so many people say they're supposed to be. And I had certain expectations going in, and they were not met. But I'm really grateful for the things that I learned. I'm grateful for my degree. I'm grateful that Hendrik and I survived the time apart. And then in 2018, it was my last year of school. One of my requirements was international experience. So they actually have a class. It doesn't matter if you've been abroad before or not, but they have a class where you plan a trip, and then the last week of the class you go on the trip, and the first day of class you find out what the destination is. It's a surprise. So that was my first time going to Asia, was with this trip, which was just an incredible opportunity that I'm so grateful for. We went to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand in 10 days, and it was such a whirlwind. It was so amazing. I actually have tons of old footage of like a travel vlog that I never did anything with. Like I was totally planning on editing it and uploading it, and I just like didn't. So maybe that'll be coming soon. I literally came home from that trip, had a finals week, and then had like 5 days at my parents' house, and then I moved to Dublin, Ireland for a 10-week internship, which turned into like a year-long job, which was insane. I just really wanted to be closer to Hendrik, and I was like, okay, where can I get a job where I can speak English every day but be in the same time zone as my love? And I tried London at first, got a job, couldn't get a visa. So then I ended up in Dublin, and it was great. It was actually so much better for me. Dublin was exactly the right size city for me. I love Ireland. I love Irish people. I worked in a hotel, which was really challenging. I started as an intern where I like ran the social media, and I just made copies and sent emails and things like that. And then I moved into a meeting and events coordinator, and I really, really enjoyed it. But I decided to leave after the year because the working environment was just not a great fit for me. Before the new year, last year, I moved back, or I guess it was just after the new year, because Shane, my little brother, came to Dublin for the new year, which was so fun. So yeah, we celebrated that in Dublin, and then we went up to Belfast. And then yeah, we flew home together, and I spent the next 6 to 8 months, maybe even, living with my parents. I spent a lot of time going back and forth to the Swiss embassy because in February 2019, Hendrik and I got engaged, which was so special and amazing. And in February, when it's our year anniversary of being engaged, we're gonna do a video trying to convince him to do it together, so we'll see how that goes. And then in August, we got legally married. We had our civil service, which was amazing that my whole family was able to come over, and we just had our nearest and dearest with us that day, and it was so special. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I was so glad we did it that way, but we are still planning on having a big, huge party in a few years. So yeah, it's just been a wild, wild year. We now live in St. Gallen. We have the cutest little kitten. Here he is. Oliver. Hello. You are new to our lives. You've changed it for the better. There's his dead cat grass as well. We should probably just throw it away. I'm now a cat mom. I can't believe I live here. And going into the new year, I'm looking forward to lots of growth, and I got a job that starts on the 15th of January, so I'm counting down the days. I will be working with Education First, or EF as it's often known, planning travel for people from all over the world, but I'll specifically be focused on organizing travel in the UK and Ireland. It's such an amazing company with so much opportunity, so I have no idea where it's gonna lead, and I'm looking forward to spending a lot more time with family this year, hopefully. We can have a visit soon, and yeah, just making this apartment a bit more of our own, making sure that we really embrace every moment. When we were in long distance, it was like every second together was so precious, and we savored every minute, whereas now it's like we're getting just normal, and it's like so lovely. It's something that I dreamed of for so long, but I don't want to lose that appreciation for everything that I have and every minute that I have with the one that I love. So yeah, that's a bit of a sappy chat with me. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has given you a bit of insight into who I am. If you have any more questions about anything, like where I grew, I don't even think I mentioned it, but I grew up in upstate New York. I definitely didn't mention that. So literally from the time I was 3 all the way until 2014 when I moved to Switzerland, I lived in upstate New York, which was, yeah, a great place to grow up. I'm really looking forward to sharing more with all of you about my life. I've got some great things planned for the new year. None of your business till it comes out. But keep an eye out if you want to subscribe and see more of my content coming soon. I would so appreciate it. Again, please, please, please put comments down below. I want to get to know you. I want to hear the things that you like. I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh my God, she's talking forever. Stop talking. You're so annoying. But if you liked it, if you don't think I'm annoying, thank you for being here. Yeah, we're really looking forward to celebrating the new year tonight with dinner with some friends. We are again in charge of apéro, so I'm gonna make a big old bread bowl with an artichoke, spinach dip, not avocado. Why did I say avocado? But yeah, anyway, thank you all again, and Happy New Year. Wishing you and yours all the best. Mwah. See ya.